Open Drive is a new game on the iGaze Games website in which you can drive around an open environment to simply explore or try making jumps and gather points to win trophies. It can be played with eye movement alone when set up correctly with a compatible iGaze camera. The game has options which allow you to do this and customize how gameplay and menus are controlled to match how you want to play and how your iGaze camera and its software works. In this video, we will look at these options. Whilst the iGaze Games website and Open Drive don't use their own iGaze software, they have been built to work with iGaze cameras that can be used to control the mouse cursor. Therefore, you will need to use some Windows control software that your iGaze camera is compatible with. Often, iGaze cameras will come with some software that enables this. There are two control modes in Open Drive and across iGazeGames.com to use alongside your mouse control. These are Classic and Precise. Precise gives you direct and constant control of your vehicle. So you look left and right on screen and the vehicle follows your gaze. You look up to accelerate and down to brake and reverse. The orb on screen shows where you are looking and represents the mouse cursor. Therefore, to use this method, you need to be able to have constant control of the mouse cursor position using your iGaze camera. For instance, using Toby's TD control software with a PCI camera, we would do this by changing the mode from advanced to simplified in the settings, and choose to use the continuous option by selecting this icon. With this mode on, as I look around the screen the mouse follows my gaze, and therefore, in Open Drive, the vehicle follows this, giving me fine control over its steering. Precise mode may also be suitable for players using other assistive mice where they have direct and constant control over a mouse cursor. Classic mode can also be used when in constant control of the mouse cursor, if players would prefer to control the turning of the vehicle separately from movement, and allows us to control the vehicle steering incrementally using on-screen buttons, which we select with a left click or the game's inbuilt dwell. Classic mode is also an alternative control option for players who don't have access to constant control of the mouse cursor, or who may benefit from using iGaze to move a mouse cursor in stages rather than constantly. For instance, using TD Control's advanced mode with the PCI camera, we look somewhere on screen and dwell briefly to move the cursor from its last location to here. If you want to make a selection or fine-tune the cursor position, you can use the options that appear on screen. Using this with Open Drive, you can use its continuous option to have access to just the left click. So here, I look at the on-screen buttons to change the way the vehicle is facing, and when I'm happy with the direction, I select the forwards arrow to drive. To stop the vehicle and change direction, I select the steer button at the bottom. Classic mode may also be suitable for players using other assistive mice where they have direct and constant control over a mouse cursor. For both Classic and Precise, you are able to choose to use the inbuilt dwell on the website. The inbuilt dwell is most likely to be used by those who are playing using constant control of their mouse cursor position, rather than those who are moving it from one part of the screen to another in stages. Using the inbuilt dwell allows you to use a centralized dwell on the buttons, which can help with selection of a button for some and avoid the cursor drifting away from it. In Precise mode, dwell will be used to open and control menus, and for Classic mode this will also be used for selecting the on-screen gameplay buttons. You are able to choose between two types of dwell animation and also change the time before a dwell click is completed. If using the inbuilt dwell option, the repeating mode is off by default, which means that to select the same button a second time, you'll need to look away from it and back again. Changing this to allow means you can keep dwelling on a button to repeatedly select it without looking away. Instead of using the inbuilt dwell, you can also use your own dwell, blink, or switch for a left click instead to suit your preferences or eye gaze method. Another option that will affect how you control your vehicle is by choosing different vehicles. A lower top speed will mean slower turning, whilst a higher one will make turning more responsive. If you have any questions about using eye gaze with OpenDrive, please get in touch with Special Effect.